Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Cowl. Today we are still on Members Month. We've got one more to come after this. We've extended it very slightly into October. So we have a design from Peaches. You may remember the name Peaches. She designed the teardrop square, the teardrop stitch that we had right at the beginning of September. Well, today we have a split stitch that she's designed for us, and I've just done a really small swatch here to give it a go. I've done this one in two colours so that you can see the stitches more clearly of where they change. So you can see here the change in stitches, and just to say, this top row here is the same as this grey in the middle. Okay, so when I work up the next row, it will end up looking like this row in the middle. We'll see sort of the bottom and the sides. Okay, so this is the front, which is fairly sort of flat, and then the back has a sort of bump along the centre. Okay, so this is the back and this is the front. And then this is it in one colour, just to show you what it looks like in one colour. So this is the front. So you can see those split stitches along the middle there. And then the back, again, we have this sort of ridge, this bump. Okay, so this is the back. So I'm going to show you it in two colours today so that you can see more clearly where I'm going for my stitches and what I'm doing. Okay. The only other thing to mention before we get started is I would highly suggest that you use a more pointy hook. If you have more than one choice of hook, have a look and look for one that's slightly more pointy. So if I show you these two, if the camera will focus, there we go. You can see this gold one has more of a point. It's more angled at the tip than this silver one, which is more rounded. Okay, so out of these two I would go for the gold one, and then these two, which are the same size, these are a 5mm, the other was a 4.5. But if you look at these, you can probably see there slightly that the blue is very slightly more pointy. Obviously it won't look as pointy as the previous because this is a bigger size. You can see there, if the camera focuses again, that the blue is more pointy than the silver, and that's just use a pointy one if you can, because we need to go into those stitches to split them, so pointy is more helpful. Okay, and the only other thing is, if you want to make this into a 6-inch square, then it is suggested to use DK light worsted weight yarn and a 4.5mm hook. Okay, or if you've made 6-inch squares before, then use whatever you've used for that before. Okay, so grab your things and let's get started. Okay, so taking your yarn and your hook, you want to pop your slip knot on as usual, and then you want to make a chain. Now for a 6-inch square, it's suggested to have 23 stitches. So you need to start with 24 chains, okay? So if you want to make a 6-inch square, then make 24 chains, okay? And I'm just going to make about 10 just to be able to show you the stitch. But you go ahead, and if you want to make the 6-inch square, then do 24 chains. And obviously you could use this to make any size you like. It's you can use an odd number of stitches or an even number of stitches, entirely up to you. Okay, so you could use this to make an entire blanket, but I do suggest that you have a go at it first. Okay, so make your chain and then I will see you in a moment. Okay, so I have a chain of 11 because I want 10 stitches. So when you've got your chain, you're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Second chain from the hook, just a regular single crochet, and then all the way to the bottom. So 10 single crochets for me. pause the video if you need to, if you've got several to make. I'm just going to do these. Okay, so I have my first row of single crochet, so I've got 10, and as I said, you can use this with an odd or an even amount. Okay, so I am going to change colour. Now, to change colour, you need to change in the last stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to backtrack that slightly and show you this last stitch with a colour change. So go into your stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then drop that colour and pick up, what's the end now? Pick up your new colour if you don't lose the end. There we go. Pull your new colour through. Oops. Like so. Okay, and this last stitch may be a bit loose until you sort of finished sewing it in or on the next row. Okay, so just pull that down. So there we go, there's our first row and our first colour change. So row 2, so for this row we are going to chain 2, turn your work around, and then you're going to do a half double crochet in just this front loop, so just the loop closest to you. You've got 2 loops there, but you just want this front loop. Okay, so yarn over, go into that very first stitch on just that front loop, and then complete your half double crochet. Okay, and then this is when you can just pull those colours down a little. Okay, and then you want to do a half double crochet in the front loop of every stitch along. So make sure that you're keeping stitch count, so count your stitches along as you work. It's quite helpful to do. Got a yarn that's wanting to split here. Okay, and the last one might be slightly twisted towards the front, but just find that loop anyway and finish. Now if you want to change colour, this is where you would change colour. So I am going to cut this purple, and then cut this, oops, cut the green, and then bring in another colour, just so you can see clearly every row that I'm doing. So then when you've got these loops on your hook, you want to do your last pull through with your new colour, like so. There we go. So just a nice ordinary half double crochet row. Okay, for row 3 we are going to just chain 1, and this is where we're going to do the split stitch. Okay, so turn your work around, and now because we've done the half double crochet, we have an extra kind of loop of our stitch. Normally for our stitches we have just these 2 top loops. Okay, normally just these 2 loops at the top. Okay, with the half double crochet, because we have that extra yarn over, we have this extra loop at the back here. Okay, so if I show you that closely, we have this extra loop at the back. So if you look along here, we've got this ridge of loops. Okay, ridge of loops, and then on top we have the 2 loops. So what we want to do is go through this bottom loop, so on the very first stitch, go through that bottom loop and then the front loop. Okay, leave the back loop there. So the bottom loop and the front loop. And I will show you that again in a moment on the next stitch. Okay, and then what we're going to do is yarn over, pull through that front loop like so. Okay, I will show you it again on the next stitch. So you've now got 3 loops on your hook, and if you've changed colour, you'll see you've got the colour for this row, a loop for the colour of the last row, and then another loop of this row. Okay, like so. You can see I've got peach, green and peach. So then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and this is where having a pointier hook is really useful. Okay, so you can see you've got that green strand in the middle there between the 2 peach. Okay, so let me show you that on the next stitch. So under the bottom loop, this one that's down here, under that bottom loop, under the front loop, leaving the back loop here. Okay, yarn over and pull through that first loop there, and now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and it gives you this kind of chain effect on the top of your work. Okay, so next one, under the bottom loop, under the front loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop. You've now got those 3 loops with the colour of the previous row in the middle. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now this is where, if you don't have a very pointy hook, it's quite handy to pull these stitches. So just pull down, give a bit of tension there. Can you see these stitches going tighter? Just give some tension there to give a bigger gap. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so I'll show you that again. Bottom loop, front loop, yarn over, pull through the first, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Continue this all the way down. Pull down here if it's not big enough, the gap, or pull that loop up a bit more. And there we go. Bottom loop, front loop, pull through, and then 3, 3. Bottom, front, pull through the first, pull through 3. Bottom, front, pull through the first, pull through 3. And the last one is where you need to check, because this is where, as I said before, the last one can kind of sort of lean over to the front of it. So just have a look, find your 2 usual loops. So my usual loops are here, so that means my bottom loop is here. Okay, just give it some encouragement if you need to. Make sure you've got the right loops. I've got one piece of the other loop on there, mine going a bit stranded. Oh, we're okay, there we go. Okay, so pull through the first and pull through all 3. There we go. So you end up with this kind of chain effect on the front of your work. Okay, now if you want to change colour, I'll show you how to do that last stitch for changing colour. Go through your 2 loops as usual, yarn over and pull through that first loop. okay, until you've got those 3 loops on your hook, and then drop that colour, and let's bring the purple back. So you've got those 3 loops on your hook, and then pull through your new colour, okay, and that is the end of row 3. Okay, so let me show you what we have so far. We have our single crochet row at the bottom in the purple, and then we have our half double crochet row, and then we have our split stitch row, which was this peach colour. Okay, so show you the back. We've got the single crochet row, the half double crochet row, and then this is what the split stitch looks like on the back. There we go. Okay, so now I'll show you how this stitch changes when we continue. So what we're going to do now is just repeat the half double crochet row and the split stitch row. Okay, so we are going to chain 2 and turn the work around, and then we're going to do half double crochets in the front loop only. So front loop and half double crochet, go into that very first stitch. We don't use that chain 2 as the first stitch, okay? So then go into the next stitch. Now, because you've got quite a lot of loops going on here, you've got the green loop, the peach loop, the top peach loop. The loop you want is this very top peach loop, okay? Because if you look here, we've got the 2 loops there from our sort of what looks like a chain, okay? So you want this first peach loop. Ignore all the rest that's down below, okay? Ignore all of these and go through that. So half double crochet, and then half double crochet all the way along in that front loop. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then I'll see you back. Okay, this last stitch is where you would want to change colour. So you would want your 3 loops on your hook for your half double crochet, and then take your colour, let's use the green, and pull through. So loop on the hook and pull through those 3 loops there, and that's that row finished. Your half double crochets in the front loop only. Okay, so let me show you how to proceed onto that split stitch row. So we will chain 1 and then turn our work, and then we are going to go into this first stitch through the bottom loop. So remember, we've got 2 loops on top for our usual stitch, but we want this bottom loop and the front loop. Okay, I split those. Let's split them in the wrong way. So this is how we're splitting our stitches, and then we're going in the back loop and not using that front loop, or the back loop, sorry. Bottom loop, front loop, back loop. Going a bit loopy. Okay, so in the bottom and the front, yarn over and pull through that top loop. You've now got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And again, bottom loop, front loop, yarn over, pull through that top loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Bottom loop, top loop, yarn over, pull through that top, yarn over, pull through all 3. Bottom loop, front loop, yarn over, pull through the top loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then continue this all the way along with every stitch. Okay, some splitty yarn here. Splitty, there we go. Pull them down if they're not wanting to give enough room. And then this very last one, have a look for your back loop. Find your back and front loop, and then look for your bottom loop, which is just here. Let's check that I'm going through the right loop. This one. Just have a good look for that loop, like I just had to. Okay, if you're changing colour, when you pulled that loop through the first one, then you want to change. So bring your other colour back. So let's go to this peachy colour again. So yarn over and pull through. There we go. Let's just snip the green. Okay. So this is what we have going on now. So you can see how that previous split stitch down here, how that's left that row like so. So it started as a chain like this and then ended up like this when we went into that front loop of the half double crochet round. Cool, huh? Cool. And down here it's got some splitting. From when we did the half double crochet in the front loop as well. So a really good effect, and this is the back with all the different colours going on, which looks equally good. Okay, so let me just really quickly run you through getting started again. Oh, pulling the wrong piece through, there we go. Okay, so let me get you started. So we're going back to a half double crochet row. So remember, it's half double crochet in the front loops and the alternate row is split stitch. Okay, so chain 2, turn, and then do a half double crochet in the front loop only. So remember, you want just that green loop. The green loop was my row of split stitches. So I just want that green loop, not the purple loop, just the green loop. Okay, and we're going just that front loop only, leaving the back loop just as it is. Okay, I'm working one half double crochet into every stitch. Oh, this yarn is very splitty. Right, I'm going to continue this row and then I'll see you to start the next row. Okay, last stitch. I have 3 loops on my hook, so I'm going to bring my other colour back in, my purple, pop a loop on the hook and pull through. Okay, and then let's cut this peach colour off. And continue with purple, and I'll show you this split stitch row one last time. So chain 1, turn your work around, very first stitch, bottom loop, front loop, yarn over, pull through that top loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, bottom, top, yarn over, pull through the first, yarn over and pull through all 3, bottom, top, yarn over, pull through the top, yarn over, pull through all 3, just like so. So continue this row. I nearly did a half double crochet there. Continue this row with your split stitches. Remember, on the last stitch, if you want to change colour, you'll need to leave it when you get these 3 loops on your hook with the alternating colours. That's when you'll change colour. Okay, so as I'm here, I may as well just finish this row with you. If it's your last row, then you'll just want to fasten off. And if you're doing this for a 6-inch square, then if you haven't started it already, remember it's 24 chains, and then single crochet in the second chain, and you'll have 23 stitches on every row. And then continue working up these 2 alternate rows until your square is 6 inches. And if it's not quite 6 inches wide, then you can work it up to the same height as the width of your square, and then you could add a single crochet border around the outside to bring it up to the size you need it to be. So yeah, if you've done those 23 stitches and it's not quite 6 inches wide, then work up the same height as the width and then pop a border around. And to do the border, so fasten this off. To do the border, all you want to do is 1 stitch in every stitch along, and assuming you're doing single crochets, then you may want to, in the last stitch, you may want to do single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet, or 3 single crochets, and then just work the same amount of stitches down your rows, just kind of even it out along and work those stitches down. Okay, and then you've got all these ends, and if you are doing a border, you can hide these ends in your border, but if you're not doing a border, then obviously it won't be as easy to hide those ends. Just make sure you fasten these ends off securely and deal with those when you sew them in. So here we go, this is the front. How pretty is that? Now this stitch has pulled up quite big. It's just because it's the end stitch, so just be aware of those end stitches. Okay, and can we see here I've made a mistake. This focuses. I've gone through an extra loop there. Can you see that? So just double check what loops you're going through, because I've gone through an extra one at the end there that I shouldn't have done. So just be aware of what loops you're going into, especially on those last stitches and the first and last stitches. So this is the front. How gorgeous is that? Gorgeous, gorgeous. And this is the back, which is equally gorgeous. If you're using it for a blanket or something, it would be just as pretty on the back. So turn it up this way and show you what it's like vertically. And Peaches, who designed this stitch, made a hat from this stitch, and she had it going vertically, and I believe she had a kind of rectangle shape, an oblong, big piece of work, and then kind of gathered it and sewed it at the top to gather it in to make the hat. So you can use this for so many things. Very, very versatile. There we go. So I hope you found this useful and helpful today. Let me just bring these other ones in just so you can see those as well. And the other thing with these, if you secured the ends really neatly and cut these at the same length, you could have tassels as well. It would make a really nice scarf going this way as well. You'd need a lot of chains to start with, but it would be a really nice scarf. So here we go. There's our 3 little swatches of the split stitch from Peaches. So I hope you found this useful and helpful, and you enjoyed having a go at a new stitch today. I've really enjoyed it, and I think I'm definitely going to use it for something in the future, definitely. If you have found this useful and helpful and you've enjoyed crocheting along with me, then please click that like button, give us a thumbs up. It's always good to see your appreciation. It does mean a lot to us. And until next time, just keep cooking and don't let your tea get cold.